How a bill becomes a law in the United States of America. Here's a little bit about submitting a bill. Bills can originate from several different sources. One of those sources could be from an individual member of Congress, or from an individual or a group of individuals speaking to Congress. It can be submitted to Congress by one or more state legislators, or the President or his administration might suggest a bill. Bills may originate in either the Senate or the House of Representatives. The only exception is that all bills dealing with raising revenue must originate in the House of Representatives. Here's a little bit about committees. Both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, are divided into different committees. Most of those large committees are then again divided into smaller committees called subcommittees. Once a bill is introduced, it is assigned to a committee. Let's say that the bill is about nachos. That bill would be sent to the full committee of food and then to the subcommittee of food that you can get at a baseball game. Witnesses can be called in to testify as to why they think this bill would be a good idea. If Congress doesn't think this bill is a good idea, then it dies. Let's say that there's a bill about all different types of food. This bill would directly warrant the full attention of the full committee of food. This bill can also have hearings from witnesses that think that this bill would also be a good addition. Again, if this bill isn't a good idea, or it's just plain silly, then this bill dies. Here's a little bit about the House procedure after a bill is sent to the full House. In the House, a bill approved by a committee is referred to the whole House. Most of them are then referred to the so-called Committee of the Whole, which consists of all members of the House with a much lower quorum requirement, and that means that less people need to show up for a debate to occur. Once in the Committee of the Whole, it is read and then debated upon. Equal amounts of time are given to the two main parties in the House, and then when the time for the debate is up, a second reading is done. After the second reading, amendments to the bill may be offered, debated upon, and then voted upon. Once the Committee of the Whole is done with the bill, it is then referred back to the full House. But a bill cannot be killed in the Committee of the Whole, although amendments may be placed on the bill that make it undesirable. This is often known as a poison bill. Once in the hands of the full House, the amendments placed on the bill by the Committee of the Whole are voted upon. The amendments are voted upon one at a time. After that, one of two votes can happen. Either a vote to recommit, which can send the bill back to the Committee of the Whole if approved, or a vote on the bill, as amended. If a recommit vote fails, a full vote is taken. If a bill passes, it is then organized and published. Now here's a little bit about the Senate procedure on how a bill becomes law. After a Senate committee refers a bill to the full Senate, it can take one of two main roads. In some cases, with emergency or other non-controversial bills, a simple voice vote is taken of the Senate, and the bill either passes or fails. Amendment is possible even when the simple voice vote is used. If consent for a voice vote is not available, the bill is then placed on a calendar for review by the entire Senate at a later date. When the bill's time comes up, objection or opposition can be noted. If no objection is noted, each senator has 5 minutes to speak on the bill. During this time, amendments may be offered. If an objection was offered, then each senator has an opportunity to speak on the bill for as long as he or she wishes. After all amendments are offered and voted upon, and all senators who wish to talk have had the chance to, the bill is put forth for a vote. And now here's some stuff about conferences. Once a bill leaves the House and the Senate, it must be checked. If anything in the two versions of the bill differ in any way, even in something as minor as punctuation, the bill must be reconciled. The House in which the bill originated in is given a copy of the bill with its differences. For example, if the House originated a bill, then sent it along to the Senate for consideration, and the Senate made changes, the bill is then sent back to the House. If the changes are minor, they might be accepted by the originating House with no debate. If the changes are more substantial nature, a conference is called for. In a conference, a number of representatives and a number of senators meet to work out the differences in the two versions of the bill. but they cannot substantially change the bill. Following the negotiations, the managers make reports back to their houses that they were able to agree on a bill, able to agree on only some parts of the bill, or were unable at all to agree on the bill. If the first case, that they were able to agree on the bill, then the bill is re-voted upon in both houses. If the latter two cases, meaning they were only able to agree on some parts or unable to agree at all, then the bill may go back to a new conference committee, referred back to the committees in the two houses, or it may just die because the differences are too vast to bridge. Now, on to the President. Regardless of how a bill leaves Congress, once it does, it goes to the President for his signature. The President may sign the bill at any time after its deliverance. If it sits unsigned for more than the 10-day period, it becomes law regardless of his signature or not. The exception to this 10-day period is commonly called a pocket veto. In a pocket veto, the President can kill a bill if it goes unsigned and Congress adjourns prior to the 10-day limit. If the President vetoes a bill, a veto message is sent back to Congress. The message contains the President's objections to the bill. The two houses of Congress may decide to re-vote on the issue right away. Normally, it is known if enough members will vote to override the bill, 2/3 is needed. If such a majority exists, the re-vote is almost guaranteed. If no immediate re-vote is taken, the bill can be tabled for a later vote or sent back to the committee to have further work done. If a vote is taken to override and the vote fails, then the bill dies. Hooray! The bill becomes a law. Officially, after the President signs the bill, 10 days pass without a signature, or after a veto override, the bill is considered law. It is in effect at that moment, but in reality it is, of course, more difficult than that. The law is transmitted to the Archivist of the United States. The Archivist assigns the law number. The Archivist then publishes the law on its own as a pamphlet. This is known as a slip law. The slip law contains a lot more than just the text of the law itself, such as where it should be inserted in the United States Code, if at all, its legislative history, the committees through which it passed, and so on. In effect, the slip law is a historical document in itself. The law is also published in the United States Statutes at Large. The Statutes at Large is a collection of all laws passed in any given Congress. Finally, if a law affects the U.S. Code, it is added to the Code, striking out sections or clauses that a law removes, and adding new ones the law created. The entire U.S. Code is republished every 6 years. In a nutshell, someone proposes a bill, the bill then goes through committees, it either passes or dies. In the House, the bill is checked by the Committee of the Whole, and then seen by the full House. In the Senate, either talks about the bill for a long time, or it is put off for a while. Congress make sure the bills are the same. The bill can either die or move on. Once it is to the President, they have 10 days to sign it or it becomes a law automatically, unless a pocket veto. If they veto, it is sent back to Congress and they can override or change the bill. And when the bill becomes a law, it is in effect right away.